Martial arts, yeah. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. All right, guys, now we have The Furious. Yes. Coming in at 1 hour and 53 minutes, and it is rated R. It is being described as kung fu, martial arts, psychological thriller, action, crime, and thriller. I don't know why psychological thriller is here, but who cares? Now, this is being directed by Mr. Kenji Tanigaki. This is what the gentleman looks like right here. And guys, we got to look at his filmography because it is stacked as far as martial arts is concerned. Enter the Fat Dragon. I have not seen that, but given the title, I am interested. Legend of the Seven Monks. Amazon's Dragon Woman versus Kunoichi. Shinobi Runway, Shinobi, and Shinobi. But let's look at these stunts. Okay, Twilight of the Warriors, Walled In. Now, Sakura, I do own that film. That is with Donnie Yen, Fierce Caught Raging Fire, Snake Eyes, Rurouni Kenshin. I used to watch the Rurouni Kenshin anime when I was in high school. I think I was in high school. And it was great. I loved it. But I never did get into the live action. I think I need to. One take Big Dog holler at me. But yeah, this is his filmography for all of his stunts. Oh, the Monkey King. Okay. And yeah, he Bodyguard. I own that one right there too. Okay, yeah. Flashpoint. Okay. I'm familiar. But guys, Killzone. Damn, it just I out Blade. Okay, I thought they said the Princess's Bride for a second. I'm like, hell no, they tripping. The Princess Blade. But Blade 2, he helped. Shit. But Blade 2, he helped on the stunts. And so, guys, wait. Silverhawk. I think this stars Michelle Yeoh. We're going to check it out real quick. Does this star Michelle Yeoh? Because I think I've either seen this or own it. And yep, Michelle Yeoh. I know my martial arts, y'all. I know my martial arts. But this is his filmography as far as stunts is concerned and directing. If you are a fan of this man's work, please let me know down in the comment section below. And also, guys, I am a bit under the weather right now, so I do apologize. Thank you very much for your patience. Subscribe. Now, when it comes to martial arts films, it's my favorite in the whole wide world. I'm always going to show up. Only thing competing with martial arts films are superhero comic book adaptations. So when I first saw the trailer for this, it was on Instagram, actually. I was like, oh, I'm seeing this. Are you serious? And then I started hearing whispers like, oh my gosh, it's as great as The Raid. And I remember I saw the first Raid, The Raid Redemption, in theaters at AMC North Park, Dallas, Texas. I think it was summer or spring or fall. It was in 2011. Yes, and I love that. And I was like, wait a minute, if you're comparing this to The Raid and The Raid Redemption or The Raid Redemption and The Raid 2, oh my goodness gracious, you know, it's like I'm a kid at Christmas, you know what I'm saying? I cannot wait. My expectations are through the roof. I wanted to see it. That's it. So before I get into all the nitty gritty, before I talk about all my likes and dislikes, let me tell you exactly what this film, The Furious, is all about. A father fights fiercely against ruthless kidnappers to save his abducted daughter. Yeah, guys, it's a simple plot. It's a simple story. God's daughter gets kidnapped. He is stopping at no end to save her. We have a bunch of evil people that are a part of child trafficking in China, and he's not playing around. And guys, just look, this is one of the greatest martial arts films I've seen in quite some time. That does not mean that this movie is perfect, because I do have some complaints that I will talk about towards the latter half of this review. But my goodness gracious, like for the duration of this movie, like the whole thing, the theater that I saw this in, including myself, everybody was oohing and ahhing and gasping like, oh shit, oh damn, yeah. Seriously, I'm not exaggerating. I was doing that. The person to my right was doing it. Everybody in the theater, oh shit. Like that was like we was adding our own commentary soundtrack to the movie with all our oohs and ahs. That may annoy you, but that's just how crazy and impactful this movie was. The martial arts was great. This is not hyperbole. I am not exaggerating. The choreography in this film was a style that I've never seen before. It says it's kung fu, and they did use that dialogue that had like a wooden dummy at the very beginning where a character is using it to practice kung fu. But when I was actually throwing down, I was like, this does not look like Kung Fu to me. Now, there are over hundreds and thousands of styles, martial arts styles in the world, and hundreds of different styles of Kung Fu. But again, if you just want to see somebody get their ass kicked, if you want to see somebody get their ass beat, and this movie should be called Beat Ass, the way they was moving around, using their body, using their weight, using their surroundings. I'm thinking about a scene with a ladder. I was like, what the hell? Like, how did y'all think about this? This is like some of the greatest ish that I've ever seen. You care about the characters. The main one, his character is a mute. He loves his daughter, so there is a language barrier. But man, he can fight, he can throw down. He's also teamed up with Joe Taslim, who was also in the Ray franchise and also was Sub-Zero in the latest Mortal Kombat adaptation. He was great in this as well, just throwing down, beating ass, all kinds of fist, feet, mayhem that you're going to love. Another great thing that I liked about this is I said the way that the characters use their environment to their advantage. They really do. Whether it's a hammer, a sledgehammer, a locker, a ladder, glass, knives, bow and arrow, swords, whatever you can think of, cars, everything that you can imagine is used as a weapon in this film, and the whole thing is just absolutely glorious. The budget for this movie was $20 million, so worldwide, we need for it to make at least $60 million worldwide, so it can be a darn certain that the studio profits off this. The reason why I'm saying that is, guys, this film needs to be successful, because if it is, more studios will potentially green light more martial arts films, not just to go to streaming, but that can go to the theater so we can get the full experience. And it is worth your money. It is worth the price of admission. At the very least, again, if you just want to see somebody get their asses kicked, you will not be disappointed. It's almost exhausting how much ass beating is in this movie. I mean, it's just like nonstop. It does get ridiculous to a point, if I had to be honest with you. Also, you do have to deal with corruption and all of that garbage. But again, nothing but beat ass. And also, I want to shout out one actor. I could be incorrect. I think that he was a part of the YouTube channel, The Martial Club. Bald gentleman that is super duper swole, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I think I'm correct. His name is Brian Lee. This is what the gentleman looks like right here. I have a ton of respect for him. He was also one of the stunt people in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And he has a YouTube channel called The Martial Club, where they do a bunch of martial arts stunts. Him and this other guy by the name of Andy Lee. I have been subscribed to their channel for the longest. There he is right here. I loved his energy in this. I mean, guy was just freaking unstoppable. And so just a ton of respect there, because I feel like I kind of grew up with this guy for like the past 10 to 15 years. I mean, his performance, and if you just subscribe to his channel, it just shows what hard work and dedication can do if you're just disciplined and just go after your goals. And so I like the characters. I like what motivated them. Of course, one is to stop corruption. One is to get his daughters back. And another guy, he just wants to survive and be a good stooge or the best that he possibly can. And given this situation, I can't get mad at him. So again, the story, the plot is very, very simple. I did like the location in the slums of this small Chinatown, and the action is just non-stop. Loved it from beginning to end for the most part. And the reason why I say for the most part is I have to talk about my complaints. Now, is this movie as good as The Raid and The Raid Redemption? It's not. And the reason why is, as far as all the action, the martial arts mayhem, they went over the top. They took it overboard to where it is unrealistic. I have that word in the thumbnail of this video, and also you'll probably see it in the title of this video as well. But it was as if some of these characters were super soldiers. Like, I think that they could beat Captain America Steve Rogers' ass, and also Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. They just would not die. And I'm even speaking of the smaller characters that are supposed to get their ass whooped, that are written into the story, that are written into the plot, that are written into the action for a cannon fodder. They were just getting their asses beat repeatedly with nice connecting hits, but then would just get up and walk away or even crawl away. And I was just saying to myself, there's no way that you will survive this. I mean, you just got hit 15 times in the face. You fell from the second story to the first story, and then somebody jumped on you and stabbed you in your leg and shot you here, and you're still able to get up, walk around, and escape, and that just does not make any sense. Now, I just talked about how great this character was right here. Energy was fantastic. But goddamn, is this Mortal Kombat? And I didn't know. Is this Shao Kahn? That's Super Saiyan level 3? He should have died 17 million times, but he just wouldn't die. He just wouldn't die. I loved all the martial arts scenes in this film except for one, and it had to deal with him. Not that he was bad in the movie. It was just this one scene that he was in was bad to where it has to deal with a sledgehammer. And it was just completely unrealistic. I'm like, okay, there is no way in hell that you can survive this. One character, I don't want to spoil it, but you cannot take this many hits to the head, to the body, and still survive. Even if you're Captain America with a super soldier serum, you're not going to be able to survive. I'm going to say a word that's politically incorrect. It just doesn't make any sense. And it just kind of clocked me out of the movie. Another thing that I really didn't care for is this is child trafficking, or that's what the film has to deal with. Now, we know that that goes on in real life to a degree, especially with the Epstein files, but we've been knowing that for all of our lives in the first place. We know that it's underground. We know that it's secret, unfortunately. And in this film, characters at the top of the hierarchy of power, they have these sets of rules and guidelines to where they can kidnap children under the radar. So they do that in this film, but then 30 seconds later, you have characters that are trying to kidnap kids and just throw all of that out of the window. I'm like, wait a minute. You just had these sequence of events to try to hide what you're doing, but now you might as well stand on the roof of a building waving a flag with fireworks saying, hey, look at me. I'm over here kidnapping kids. Come and catch me. We're right over here. I'm just like, what are you doing? This does not make any sense at all. Like, how can you try to hide what you're doing in 1 second, but then parade it to the world the next? That kind of clocked me out as well. And I also am just not a fan of weak villains. There's multiple villains in this movie. And they set the standard for one, just letting you know, again, how high he is on the hierarchy of power. And I'm just like, okay, this is a guy to be threatened with. But then the film misled me, and I'm thinking that this character is just going to be taken out by somebody much more powerful than him. But that wasn't the case. They're just able to rush through this scene, eliminating everybody. I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all are at the top. You're supposed to be this powerful, but you're taken out like that. It really does grind my gears and clocks me out of the film as well. I did not like the way that that was written, and in a sense kind of ruins the climax of the movie for me. But is this movie anticlimactic? No. Towards the end, you have one of the most intricate, detailed, choreographed martial arts scenes that you have seen in years. But again, it's just too over the top. These characters are unstoppable. Like, I'm not exaggerating. They're equivalent to Superman, Goku, Steve Rogers, the Living Tribunal, and everybody else. I mean, they just won't die. I mean, they can be stabbed, ran over by a car, impaled by various objects, falling off buildings. One character literally got punched in the face at least 15 times. And I'm not exaggerating. This is not hyperbole. And he was still able to get up and move around. Yeah, the fighting was cool, but I'm like, come on, man. You should have died a long time ago. There's like a bunch of cats. They all have 9 lives each. And that just kind of just clocked me out. You know, that wasn't the case in the Raid Redemption or the Raid. That it just wasn't the case. But I don't know. I mean, they just wanted to have a bunch of souped up characters in this film to where they're just impenetrable, invincible, unstoppable. And I don't really like that. I really don't. I mean, I like extravagant martial arts, but at the same time, I want it grounded. Unless the plot end of story warrants it. You know, are these grand masters at Kung Fu that have been training all their life since they was 3 years old and now they're like 90 and they're able to control all the energy in their body and their chi or ki flow and all that, and with dragon palms and stuff of that nature? Yeah, that's cool, but that's not the case here, okay? These are not monks that have been training for decades upon decades. I want to say that they're more than street fighters, but it was just a bit too over the top for me to where I didn't enjoy it that much. Still a great film that I think you should see, but they jumped the shark a little bit right here. And also the level of cop corruption in this film was a bit ridiculous as well. I'm like, how are you gonna get away with this? You're not. This is kind of silly. But guys, I still enjoyed the film. I think you will too. Please take your time to go see it in theaters for at least the action. And I'll go ahead and give my rating for this at the very end. But for now, guys, that is just my opinion. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this, please subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment. So if I had to rate The Furious out of a 1 out of 10, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. Yes, a 7.5 out of 10. If these characters wasn't super soldiers, I would probably give it a 9, but they really did rub me the wrong way. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget, I'm B. Avery. That's just my opinion. Peace. And I'll see you next time.